Hello, assalamu alaikum. Today we are just going to start one more or a few more questions. They are very important from the examination point of view. Here I had tried my best to make you understand what actually does these question means. Today's question is define power of accommodation or power of lens. Power of accommodation of lens means, as you know that there are two type of lenses, one is concave lens and other is a convex lens. Both lenses are used to see the objects. In case of impairability or in case of any defect in our eye lenses, the artificial type of lenses are used, and these type of lenses are first of all recognized or experimentally proven by the scientists, then they are accordingly used to treat the various type of defects. So hence here we have to explain you that define power of accommodation. What actually power of accommodation means? Here the term accommodation is given here. I have to explain you what accommodation is. Actually it is defined or it is accounted as the ability of a normal eye to focus the distant object as well as the nearby objects by changing its focal length of its lenses is called as accommodation, and such a power is called as power of accommodation. For example, let's suppose I will explain you here that here is one object that is called as A and another object that is called as B. Here you are here. Here this question explains that when you have to see on this object, you have to change focal length to the for seeing the nearby object. Then simultaneously I am asking you to see at this point, this is the B, this is the far point, distant point. So here in this question, the question explains that is the ability of an eye to see the nearby objects which are very near to your eyes and the far objects which are very far from the eye simultaneously by changing its focal length. What is focal length? The length between object and your eye is called as focal length. Here the focal length is the minimum, here the focal length is the maximum. यहाँ पर focal length कम है और यहाँ पर ज़्यादा है. So simultaneously when an eye is having capacity to see the nearby objects as well as the far objects by changing its focal length is called as power of accommodation. So two conditions are there. One condition is when you are looking at the nearby objects, then simultaneously when you are looking at the far objects. Two type of equations are there. One, I will explain you that when you are looking at the distant object, unaccommodated conditions. First condition is the unaccommodated condition, means when you are looking at the distant objects, means they are placed far from your eyes, and then simultaneously your ciliary muscles. What are ciliary muscles? Which are here, this is an eye lens, and these two type of muscles which are attached to your eyes, eye lens which holds your eye lens. This is an eye lens. Eye lens, as I had explained you in the previous question, that the ciliary muscles of the eyes are the fully relaxed. When you are looking at the far objects, the eye lens of the muscles are fully relaxed. So hence what happens? Then the eyeball, the eye lens of the eye lens becomes the thin. Eye lens becomes the thin. It will not become the thick, it becomes the thin, and the length is maximum because you are looking at the far. The length is maximum and the eye lens is the thin. Then the converging power of the lens is minimum because convergence means when you see at the nearby objects. Here is the convergence is the minimum and the divergence is the maximum. Such a conditions of the eye is called as unaccommodated condition of eye. The reverse is the second case. Second case of it is the reverse case. Here it means it is an accommodated condition. Accommodated. What accommodated condition means? When it is the reverse. Here you are looking at the distant objects. In case of the accommodated conditions, you have to see when you are looking at the nearby objects. When you are looking at the nearby objects, means nearby objects, not at infinity. Then the ciliary muscles of our are not fully relaxed. They are contracted. The eye lens here is the thin, but in this case, the eye lens becomes thick. Eye lens becomes thickest. Here the focal length is the maximum. Here the focal length is the minimum. Here the focal length is the minimum. So here the power of the converging power or the incoming rays of the light which falls on the inner lights, or the convergence power of the eye lens is the very low. But here in this case the convergence power of the eye lens is the more. So such a condition of eye is called as accommodated condition. What actually accommodated condition means? When you are looking at the nearby objects, the ciliary muscles of the eye are not fully relaxed, then the eye lens becomes the thick and the length becomes the minimum and the converging power becomes maximum. So hence the incoming way of light which falls on an object, they becomes the diverged, so they become the converged, more converged, then you can see the things very clearly. What actually here is the objective will be asked during examination, which type of muscles will help to contract and relaxes the eye lenses. These muscles are called as the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles helps in the contraction and relaxation of the eye lenses. So in this question, this question is very important from the examination point of view, and one objective will also be asked many times in your examination, board examination, that is the ciliary muscles helps in the convergence and divergences, or helps in changing the focal length of the eye lenses. So next question is, what is glass prism? Glass actually शीशे की बात हो रही है. Glass prism actually made up of the glass. Such an object is transparent. Glass is always transparent. It is triangular in shape. The opposite faces are triangular in shape and they are not equal to each other, because the opposite faces of a triangle are not equal. So here I had mentioned in the diagram that this is a glass prism which is having three sides, P, Q and R, and thus I had made a glass prism with PQR with phase 1 and phase 2. Here in first case, here in the second case. Here is accommodated and unaccommodated conditions which I had explained you above. They are made here. So what we have to study in this question? We have to study the refraction through the glass prism. For example, take a glass prism P, Q and R. A ray of light, fall a ray of light means A and B on the side PQ. You had taken a side PQ, a ray of light fall on PQ, then after subtracting at point B, this light bends in internal part of the prism and it will deviates in the direction of CD. So this PQ AB ray of light goes in the direction of CD. So hence this CD, when we will take the imaginary line from the B, it will becomes BX. For example, this the path in between this ray, imaginary ray of light, and the ordinary already mentioned ray of light, and this is called as angle of deviation. How many percent light bends while traveling from one part of the prism to the another side of the prism. Here we can also explain is that when a ray of light traveling passing through a prism, it will bend towards the base. It is bending towards the base. Here in this case the light is bending towards the base. So hence here in this question, students, what you have to understand? You have to understand that when a ray of light A and B, after striking the lens at point A, PQ, and then it bends, deviates towards the other side of the glass prism, that is PR. So hence in this, what definition will be there? When a ray of light passes through a prism, a glass prism, or you can say that in a prism, it bends towards the base. Then one more important question, students, that is dispersion of light through glass prism. First scientist, namely Isaac Newton, who is also responsible for giving the three laws of motion, that is called as Newton's three laws of motions, that you have studied in class 9th. So here the question is something else. What is the question? Question status here that dispersion of light means what? Through the glass prism. Isaac Newton in the year 1665, he taken in a white screen. I had mentioned it in this screen. Then a white ray of light which disperses into the different 7 colors which are called as Vibgor. V indicates violet, I for indigo, then B for blue, G for green, Y for yellow, O for orange, and R for red. So hence how he explains this phenomena? He explains this phenomena as he took a glass prism, namely P, Q and R. He struck a ray of light which is called as AB. After striking the ray of light, this ray of light, this is the white ray of light, after passing from the glass prism, it is bent or it reflects or it is dispersed on the white screen as VIBGYOR, VIBGYOR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. It depends upon the intensity of light. What intensity means? The violet appears at the bottom of the, because it is having low intensity, while the red appears on the top because it is having high intensity. Then blue color is in the mid, it is having moderate in between the other colors intensity. So hence red appears at the top because of the higher and maximum deviation. So violet appears at the bottom because of lower and minimum deviation. Hence splitting up of white color into 7 different colors is upon passing through a transparent medium like glass prism is called as dispersion of light. When a ray of light is passed from the glass prism, it bends and it refracts from the glass prism, then simultaneously it will be dispersed into different 7 colors. These different 7 colors are called as VIBGYOR. From the examination point of view, what you have to remember? You have to remember which type of light will be appears in the bottom, that is the violet ray of light, and which appears at the top, which is the red ray of light. Why red color appears at the top of the prism on the screen? Because of high intensity of the light. So then why red color is used in the ambulances and in the emergency fields for indicating the because of high intensity. So then next question is what that is called as atmospheric refraction. How the refraction takes place? I had studied refraction takes place through the glass prism, refraction takes place through the other mediums, and then how refraction takes place through the atmosphere. Our atmosphere is consists of the layers. What one layer is? That is the air. Air is called an optically denser medium. It is an optically denser medium. Which layer of the air? Air. The air which consists of the rear medium. It is in a colder medium. So then another medium is called as warmth medium. When the light comes from the sun, it comes from the warmth medium, then it strikes on the one more layer of the air, that is called as the colder medium. From here the intensity of the light is reduces, then it comes to us. So then this light comes to us as a phenomena of refraction of light. One more phenomena I will explain you. When your hair is in a fire, you are burning some fire, you are standing here and another person is standing here. When this person is seeing at this very person, this person is just like seeing like that, it is just moving here and there. But what actually is this process is called as refraction. When a light goes from the colder medium to the hotter medium, or from hotter medium to the colder medium, then the simultaneously refraction of light takes place. One more concept is there, students. Why atmosphere appears red at sunrise and sunset? The answer is very simple, students. Earth atmosphere appears red when sun rises, and it also appears red when sun sets. What actually happens? When the sun rises, the intensity of the red color is the high. It will be separate on the blue atmosphere. It will seems us the red. When it appears down, then when sun sets, it again appears as red because of dispersive and high intensity of the red color. So because of high intensity of the red color, the atmosphere appears red during sunrise and sunset. So hence I had completed all the important questions. In the next video I will give you the more than 10 to 15 how much is a possible objectives. I will explain you the important objectives from that very chapter and also from the previous chapter from the examination point of views. Students, in case of any problem you are getting, you can also write below in the comments that where you are getting problem and why you are not getting me properly here, what I have to change, whether I have to change my teaching methodology or what new changes that I have to bring in the video online classes. So students, I am preparing the topics for your examination point of view systematically according to the latest syllabus prescribed by the Jammu and Kashmir State Board of School Education. Rely upon this. In case of if you needs the notes of that very relevant material, write me in the comments. I will give you the description link in the description. You you can download from there. You can also download these videos, share this among the students, so the number of students can get benefited from this very type of online classes in the unresting conditions when we are suffering from the pandemic COVID-19. So students, here I want to advise you, pray 5 times namaz, and pray for me also. Stay at home, stay safe, stay safe, so that protect you yourself from this pandemic type of disease. I will also want to give you one, as a science teacher, I want to give you the separate topic on pandemic. In next videos I will give you the explanatory answer and questions on the COVID-19. What type of virus is this, how it separates. So thanks, keep watching, study, maintain notes. Allah bless you.